Hi there. I'm playing around with backpacks again, and since I was at it, I just wanted to show off my little sewing corner. So I have this like neat, flexible workshop lamp here that I just threw on some a cupboard thing that's on the wall, like in the very corner of my room, a very tight corner. Don't want to show all my mess because I'm kind of a chaotically organized person. So I'm just showing off like the. Here you can see the no, there it is actually, the fourth corner, the magical four sewing machines. This is a sewing machine. This is a sewing machine, and then you have two more of these sewing machine tables. These two being, yeah, there you can see a bit of it, being like the old treadle kind, where you have to put your feet on a little pedal, and this moves like a flywheel, and the flywheel with some leather or artificial leather, what's it called? Doesn't matter. A leather thing is moving this flywheel up here, and this again is moving the sewing machine. And then you basically have your chaos. As I just said, chaos. You have your upper thread here, which you have to put through all those holes. Then you have your thread tensioner. Then it goes through this little thing, the thread aligner, and there's the thread go up down thingy, and then it goes whatever these things are through the needle. And this is your upper thread. You have this lever here, which basically pulls the foot up and down, so you can put whatever you're sewing under it. For every sewing machine, there's like tons of these foot attachments, different kinds. For example, for sewing in zippers, or there are ones that automatically. Let me see if I can get this. There are ones that are like they look like a wave, like a surfing wave, like a wave on the beach. And when the thread, when the fabric gets pulled in, they automatically fold it over. So if you're like folding, if you're sewing a seam on the edge of something with the right foot, it can automatically fold it over and then automatically sew it in. But that's this is like a basic foot, and let me see if I can show this. Let me arrange the light a bit better. Yeah, now we see something. You see there's like this slit here. And when the needle is sewing regularly, you have two settings here, which is this one is the distance between the stitches in millimeters. So this one goes from the 0 to 5 millimeters, which is basically the step size. And then, as you can see on these seams, there's like cross stitching, or I don't know, is it cross stitching? No, it's I think in German it's zigzag, it's zigzag stitching. And this is basically the amount of millimeters that you have, like the zigzagging motion to set that up. And this is why this foot is important, because here's this this horizontal slit in there. So if your needle is sewing and doing the zigzag, regular sewing, it's just going up and down. But if you're doing a zigzag stitch, it goes left to right to left to right. And with this foot, you can basically do both. There are foots that don't have a slit here, but a little hole. In that case, never use that thing here, that lever. Because like this is like 4 millimeter zigzag motion sideways. This is zero. If you have a foot on your sewing machine that only has a hole in there, not a slit, always leave it on 0. And carefully try out which lever does what. But I'm pretty sure like the one on the stem, on the main body of the sewing machine, is like the step size, and this is like the sideways motion. Yeah. That's the motion and your like top thread, your upper thread. And then down here you have like a little compartment and a little lever there that you can move to the side like this. And it just opens. Just push it to the side, push this way. And while the needle is up, like if I move the wheel here, needle goes up and down. And the needle has to be at the very upper part. You see inside there is this spinning thing moving. This is what's doing the underside of your seam. To open this thing, the needle has to be in the uppermost position. Then you open it, and as you can see, this little part falls out. You see here, the thing that just fell out when I was moving it a little bit. And this basically is like, or this is your spool with your under thread in there, and this thing is just move it out. Yeah, I can show it like this. Okay, so your spool goes in there. This is your spool holder, and as you can see, there's like a tiny slit on the side. And if you put the spool in, like you fiddle your thread, you pull it straight with your fingers, and then move it through here. So it moves under this black metal clamp on the side. I hope you can see it. And then I can show it from here better, yeah. And then you come out there with the thread, and you just pull the thread through this little hole on this side here. So pull it into the little slit. Pull it behind the metal clamp, the dark metal clamp on the outside here, and then move it through that hole. So, let me see if I can put it back together here. Just spooling the excess thread up now. Funny with one hand. There we go. And then I'm trying to find the right way to put it back in. Here we go. It's little pieces of thread from sewing flying around here. Okay, I just put it in and just pulled it out a bit. As you can see, if you turn it back now, it slowly pulls in the excess thread. And all you need to do, if you get a used sewing machine, all you have to do is clean it up and put some thread in here. And just you leave like 3 to 5 centimeters of thread. Put it in, so the two upper thingies, there's like a little, you will figure it out, there's like this little pin. Here, there's like a little pin. Oh, come on, give me a light. So this little pin here has to go in between these two pins on the spool holder. And then all you need to do is put it in. Close your lower compartment. And that was a really fun part. This is really hard to film now. Okay, so your upper thread goes through this thing, through the tensioner for the upper thread, behind this thing. I mean, there's videos on YouTube to show you exactly for each sewing machine how to fiddle your thread in there. It's basically the same route every time, though. You follow the path, and then when you arrive at the bottom, the important thing is when you're putting in a needle as well, the slit has to be like this way. Like when you put the thread in, you put it in from front to back, and for the mechanism to work, the needle cannot be put in like with the hole sideways, so that the thread would go on sideways. This doesn't work. The thread has to go in this way. So I hope you can see it. The hole has to go from front side to back side, and then you put your thread in there and move your foot up for the to get the lower thread up. Yeah, just as what I've just done, you pull your thread through the foot, through the middle of the foot, and you can put it back down. Then with your left hand, you hold on to this part, and with your right hand, you pull this flywheel towards you for one rotation. So here you go, it goes down, and it goes up again, and this is one rotation of the flywheel. And now that we're up again, we can lift the foot again. We're still holding on to our upper thread. And now using anything, I'm just using my shears here. You move it through here sideways, and there comes our lower thread from inside the machine, and that's it. And now whatever you want to sew, if you want to sew something, this is like my testing piece. You just put it in, lower your foot, your sewing foot, and once again, this is always only for the first stitch. You need to hold on to your upper thread with your fingers, or leave like an excess amount of thread. You can like pull out like 20 centimeters or something, then probably you won't have to hold it. But I like to keep excess short and to keep waste minimal, so I just pull out a few centimeters, then I hold it with my left hand. And once again, rotating this flywheel by hand. Okay, let me film this. Rotating this, pulling it towards me for one rotation. So here we go. Holding onto it with the left hand, right hand pulling on the wheel. We're going down once, twice, 3 times, and there you can see basically now we're sewing. And while I'm doing this, the tread pedal on the bottom is very slowly moving up and down. So there's some gear in there, but basically also how you start it is you put your foot on the pedal. Let me see. There, foot on the pedal. Then your right hand on the flywheel, you pull towards you, and then you start pedaling with your foot. You always like you give it a swing towards you, and then you start pedaling. And there you're sewing. And if you have like flimsy material, flimsy fabric, you always want to hold onto it with your hand. And what I do is like putting my fingers here, or one in front, one behind, so you're guiding it through there. Now I can once again do a few stitches, stitch a bit, and also if you want to remove it now, make sure that, as I have done now, that you're controlled with your feet or by hand, it doesn't really matter, but make sure that the needle is in the topmost position again. Also, try not to go backwards. The machine is not designed to go backwards. These old machines are designed to work in one way only, and this is the direction that is pulling the flywheel towards you, moving your foot up and down, and it will work. And you can theoretically, like if your needle is, I'm doing it now. If your needle is, yeah, it doesn't even work. I can't even go backwards in this way. It's blocking inside the machine. But like if you're down and stuck in the seam and you don't want to go one step further, theoretically you can try pulling it up, but it's always better. Yeah, you hear it now. Now it's ripped. The under thread has just ripped because I did do what I'm telling you not to do. There will be knots and stuff, and machine wants to go in one direction only. However, if you want to get your fabric out of there now, you undo this little lever again. So you pull up your foot. You pull it out to the side. And sometimes it's stuck and you can't pull. Do not pull with force. Instead, wiggle the flywheel a bit back and forth, because once again the needle has to be in the topmost position, and then your lower thread, basically the spool that I showed you before, freely spins, and you can, as you can see here, I can pull out both threads. But this only works if the needle is in the upmost position. It's very important. It's basically your start and stop position. It's always needle up. Don't do things with your needle down unless you want to sew around the corner. I can do that as well quickly. So once again, yeah, pulling my shears out. Also, I got these things from AliExpress. They are Japanese shears or Japanese scissors for tailoring. They are very, very nice because they are like, they have a one-sided grind on them. They're only sharpened on one side. And if you want to cut something off, if you have like, good example, because I just did it with this thing. If you have Velcro here and you want to remove the Velcro, you can just basically, where are we here? You can guide one side of the blade along the Velcro and cut through the seam. You don't need a seam ripper. This thing is better than every seam ripper because it's basically just a razor blade. Yeah, okay. But here we go again. Carefully cutting this through. And yeah, this is back side, upper side. Doesn't really matter. Yeah, I wanted to show how to sew through corners. So once again, setting everything up, just pulling the thread to the side here. And if you pull like in a weird angle or with too much force, it's normal that the thread will break. And it's a good thing because if the thread breaks, your machine doesn't break. So always keep that in mind. And you can always, like, if it's frayed out at the end, just cut it off clean and wet it a bit, like the tip of the thread, and just fiddle it through your needle again. There's also tools to help with threading needles and whatnot, but it's not rocket science. I mean, these machines are like sometimes 100 years old, and it has worked then, and it just works the same way now. And eventually, either you fiddle out how it goes, how it works, or you have these like little drawers there. And it's always a good thing to check in there, because I even got like my original, like I don't know what this is, like 50s, 60s user manual, like in black and white with everything explained, and yeah, all the schematics and everything you need, like even for repairs and stuff, and error. I think there was an error sheet somewhere. No, this is, but yeah, this is like even like on the inside how everything's working. It's like, yeah, the complete manual basically. But always check. Old people, smart people, old people valued their stuff, and they all, most of the times they kept the manuals and stuff inside of these drawers, which is a very smart thing to do. People should do that nowadays, and throw away less stuff and keep more stuff, and especially manuals and stuff, and repair things. Anyways, okay, enough of me blabbering. Here we go. Again, holding the upper thread in my fingers here, spinning the flywheel towards me once, twice, and now I can just put my foot on the pedal again and spin it, give it a spin towards me, and just start pedaling with my foot. It's sewing. And now let's say we want to go around a corner, 90 degrees. So we stop in the lower position with the needle inside of the fabric. Here we go. And you have to balance your foot a bit at times. You have to balance your foot to really try and keep your needle in place. And it's really a challenging task, because you basically need good muscles in your leg and good fine motorics in your leg to keep your foot and not twitch and not wiggle and keep your needle inside of the fabric. Then you again raise your foot, and then with the needle inside of the fabric, you turn it now for like your 90 degrees. Let's say we want to go in this, or no, let's say we want to go in the other direction. Turn it like that. Then once again, pulling the flywheel, moving my foot, and here we go. Just a few stitches. And then let's say we want to do the same thing again and go in another direction. We're doing this. Once again, pulling the flywheel, moving my foot, and here we go. what's going on here? My focus on the cell phone isn't working. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, just a few more stitches. Doing it once more, raising the foot, turning our fabric by 90 degrees, lowering the foot, pulling the flywheel towards us, moving our foot, like our foot, not the sewing machine foot. And yeah, what I'm doing now is like, I don't even need my foot. I had my foot on the pillow, but you don't need it. You can just sew by hand, like putting one finger on the side of your flywheel and carefully moving it step by step. And there you can go stitch by stitch, and you're very precise with these old sewing machines. And that's why I also love these old mechanical sewing machines compared to, like, this is actually my grandma's electrical machine. And in that table there's an electrical machine I got from a neighbor. But those electrical machines, you have like a button for your foot, like a foot pedal. You put your toe or your foot on there and it starts sewing, and then it goes. And you can vary in speed, or you have like a thing to control the speed and stuff. But on these machines, on these old mechanical ones with the foot pedal, you either pedal, and it's surprisingly fast. I mean, you can really be surprised about how fast these things go. And once again, for precision, you can use your hand and just slowly move like this. And it's way more precise than the electric ones. You have way more feeling for what you're doing. One more thing. This thing here. This is your spooling device. So, just for an example, I have only this one, this old spool here from the previous owner, but never mind it. Just a second. I need to remove this one first before I show that. Yeah. Let's say we're done now with our little rectangle that we sewed. We moved the needle in the upper position. We raised the foot again, and we gently fiddle it out sideways. And yes, both threads easily come out. So we did it right. We're in the right position. Now I'm cutting it. And also, when you're cutting stuff, you always want to cut towards your fabric and not towards your needle, because you need like this little, like a few centimeters at least, to hold on to for when you want to start stitching next time. Okay, and this is like the stitching we just did with the 4 right angles that I showed. This is how it turned out. Upper side and lower side. And everything's working fine. And this is very fine stitching. I've set my machine on 1mm stitching now, which is like, yeah, you can see it's like super fine stitching, and this is extraordinarily strong. It's like really neat, really neat. It's kind of surprising what these old machines can do, but yeah. However, for the next part, you would usually undo the thread, like pull the thread out of the needle, but it doesn't really matter, because I'm not sewing anything anyway. But if you want to fill your spool, you push it on. Wait, let me see. Yeah, this has like a little marking in here. I think it has to be put on in a certain way, but I'm not too sure. Yeah, okay. There's a little spring there that has to fit. Okay, anyways, you push this thing here, and this tensioner goes down. And also this little, very old, in my case, rubber wheel is pushed against the flywheel. And now if I turn this, you should be able to see, yeah, how it's spinning. It's not spinning too much because this is very much filled to the brim now. And as this thing gets filled with more thread, this little tensioner gets pushed up. And if it's really full, as you just saw now when it's pushing up, it automatically disengages and stops. But what you're doing is, imagine this thing would be empty. You put it on here, push this one down, you take some thread and spin it around a few times and maybe cross it a few times. However, do not knot it on. No knotting on thread onto your little spools for the under thread, because imagine I did that for the first time. I did a fisherman's knot, was very proud because me being a fisherman, I knotted it on with a very strong knot. And then as I was sewing, eventually the under thread, the under spool was emptied. And as it became empty, basically it gave a huge whop. It gave a terrible sound, like the whole machine was basically shaking and stopping abruptly. And yeah, naturally that was when that knot on the underside broke. And it's not good for your machine. Actually can destroy your machine. Do not do that. However, you can like wind it on a few times and like spin it over itself and wind it on a few times, like not a knot, but layered onto itself. And then you basically, with your foot, again, you pull and you start spinning. And imagine with this spool, you use your finger to like layer the thread on evenly, moving it like this. And once again, as the spool fills up, eventually it is at the top and it will disengage, and that's that. And then you can pull it back. As I showed before, put it in your under spool carry thing there that I've showed. Fiddle the thread through there, and then that's that. I showed that before. But this mechanism is how you get your line, your thread onto your spools. Okay, I think I'll rename this video. Nothing to do with backpacking, but me showing off my sewing machine, because it's just like half an hour now explaining how the basics of a sewing machine work. I guess that's what this video shall be called then. The basics of a sewing machine. Showing. It's late. It's like 1 a.m. or something. Anyways, yeah, showing off the machine for the last time that I got for free, actually, from a pregnant lady who bought a house with her husband, and the previous owner was an actual tailor, and this was her home sewing machine. And I basically refurbished the wood. There was like plastic, a plastic foil on here that looked like wood, like fake wood, faux wood. But it was terrible, and I removed it with a hairdryer and then cleaned everything with mineral spirits and washed it with just dish soap and water and let it dry in the summertime. And this wood came out very beautiful. I like this old wood look because it's beautiful and natural, and this plastic stuff from the 70s, this foil to stick on top, it was just terrible. And yeah, this is the machine that was like all dusty and grimy, and I also cleaned that with mineral spirits, and every now and then I dust it down. And if you want to put it away, I can show that as well, basically. Like the wheel on the bottom here. Let me show that. Let me spin it, find the right position. There should be. Where is it? No, I'm not finding it. There should be like a notch in here. It's dark anyway. Can you see it? It's again pulling my flywheel so the machine goes in the right direction. Yeah, there's like this thing. This is like to help, like a little claw, a little hook thing. Anyways, you take your belt drive and pull it to the side, away from the flywheel, and just pull it towards you. And this way you disengage the belt. And now, as you can see up here, like the belt is loose now. It's off the wheel. It's loosened. So now you can take your machine, clean my stuff around here a little bit, and you can just gently push it backwards, and there you see everything in between. All the dust and oil, beautiful. Haven't cleaned it so well, have I? It has been a while. It has been in use for about a year. But yeah, now you can like lower it down And this is chaotic. I should have removed, yeah, you need to remove the thread, the spool first and everything. But then you can basically, if I would lower it down now, it would disappear on the table. And then you lower that thing again, and then basically it's in there. And this side thingy here, you can like unhook it and put it where the sewing machine is now. So this is basically the lid. And as you can see in the lid, there's like this little hole here. And there was like one key that I found in our Home Depot of keys, which is like a very simple old key. And this, like we have like this drawer of like, I don't know, 100, 200 old keys. Took me a while to find this one, and this one fit in here. And I can actually, I can actually close and open the drawer with this. However, this thing also fits in here. There's also like a lock in here. I see if I can, yeah. Never mind. If you put this hatch on top of where the sewing machine is now, once the sewing machine is folded inside, you can lock it up. And that's everything about the sewing machine. Oh yeah, and if you want to put the belt back on, basically you just I put the light away again. Here we go. Yeah, once again, you always want to pull the flywheel towards you. So you basically put the belt on the flywheel and hold it at one place with your fingers and spin it around. This is one of those things again, which is, oh yeah, you see, this is where the tiny hook thing is. See, I can hook it over. I can like lower it, and now it's clamped in with the tiny hook thing. And this is actually the mechanism for this machine. Now I'm just pulling it, flonk, there we go. And it just automatically, it's snapped open. Here's the hook thing again. Let me see. Yeah, this is the hook thing. And I just put it here. And basically, yeah, with the belt under it, I just put it down. And once it went around one time, for one revolution, it automatically snapped up. And now the belt is in here again. I can pull, and I can show you as I'm pulling with my hand now, how everything is moving down here. And this is how the thing works. You have your foot pedal, and it's really simple. I mean, as I said, I've had like several of these machines now, and got them for either for free or for like 10 euros. And the one machine was so dirty that you could basically not. It's also a black sewing machine. It looked gray or white because it was so filled with dirt. The homeowners, also a young pair, who bought the house that the machine was staying in from their grandma, I think. They did gypsum work. They did drywall work in their house, and all of that gypsum powder was dusted all over the machine. And all I had to do was basically use a microfiber towel and clean everything up, and clean it up with a wet towel with mineral spirits again. And then, oh yeah, those things, those are oil holes. I actually have never oiled one of my machines yet. There's special oil for sewing machines. And it's not expensive, but you should get if you do this, get the correct oil, put it in here. Don't put any other oil in here except for sewing machine oil. This is very important. But then you have like these holes, or sometimes you have like little, it's like little metal balls that are held in place with a spring. And then you have like the sewing machine oil has like a needle tip, and then you put the needle tip in there and put like a small drop, literally just one drop of oil in there, and that's it. And you do this on all in this case it's like red markings. Other times you have, as I said, these little metal balls that are like in a little hole with a ball inside. Yeah, you'll recognize it when you see it. And you put a little oil on there, and that's it. Yeah, what I wanted to say, I've never oiled any of my machines. I just cleaned them and they all worked immediately. So these things are really hard to destroy. If they are or if they have problems, don't throw them away. There's a lot of people who are interested in parts. These things have value, and not little value. I mean, like all of the threads, all of these like little tools, like little scissors, like all of the threads I got, replacement spools, and all of those parts are really valuable. And also, naturally, the sewing machine parts themselves are really valuable. Are really vegetable. Yeah, my brain is really vegetable today. Yeah, I'm a vegetable. That's where I'm now. 35 minutes in. Realizing that I'm actually a vegetable. I wanted to say that a lot of people nowadays, they rip these things apart, and my mom is guilty of that as well. She, like in the 90s, got one of these old sewing machines, took the sewing machine out, threw it in the garbage, like literally on the recycling yard, gave it away, threw it away into recycling, and she just used like the cool, quote unquote cool under part, like the under desk of the sewing machine, and put like Italian marble plate on there to put flowers on, just because it looks cool. It's looking vintage retro. It was a chic thing in the 90s that DIY people did, basically destroying lots and lots and lots of sewing machines. I kind of get it. I did stupid things as well as a teenager, like trying to build a belt buckle from an old Nintendo controller, or like an old NES controller. But back then, I was smart enough to not actually destroy the plastic, but like snap it in place and keep the inside of the controller. So like 3 years later, when NES prices were skyrocketing, I could just put my controller back together and had a working controller again. Just saying that, same mentality, me and my backpacks and backpack stuff, like all of these beautiful things. I try not to modify them in a way that destroys them, but keep them as original as possible, so I can always revert what I've done. But yeah, I think this has been enough of me rambling about. Yeah, this is my sewing machine. I've just used it. I've just explained everything about it, and now I'm trying to make another video, actually doing what I wanted to do. Anyways, I hope maybe this was interesting for someone. Have a nice day. Bye.